Welcome everyone to my first video. We will have a look today on how to integrate GitHub Copilot into your development processes and to your workflows. So also thanks for reading the blog about GitHub Copilot functionalities and the features that it currently have and what's going to happen in the future. As you can see now, we are at the GitHub page. And let's have a look how to configure it for your organizations. So there are some specific prerequisites that you need to have before actually enabling GitHub Copilot for the business. So first of all, you need to have a GitHub account, or at least the owner needs to have a GitHub account. And then you will kind of create an organization. And from the organization, then you will be able to enable your GitHub Copilot seats. So let's have a look how to create your organization, how to enable the seats, and let's then integrate the GitHub Copilot into Visual Studio Code. And also we will also have a look on the how to integrate the GitHub Copilot into the IntelliJ IDEs. So first of all, we go to our profile icon, we click our organizations, and as you can see, I have many other organizations over here, but let's go through the process of creating a new organization. We can create a free organization at the moment, and let's personal account, and organization name will be GitHub Copilot Demo. Let's use something which is not used, and yeah, let's verify real quickly. Very good. Let's go through the next step. So we can actually skip this setup, as you know, you can add some organization members. So this is kind of a walkthrough that you will be presented with whenever you will start creating, whenever you completed the first step of creating your organization. So we can skip this step, and you can also go back to these steps anytime. Basically, here's like a let's consider this as a tutorial to walk you through inviting your first members, customize member permissions. So basically you can set the permissions with regards to your organization to specific repos and so on and so forth. And basically the next step will be enabling the GitHub Copilot in our organization. So let's go to the settings. So you have all the settings over here, or administrative settings to your organization. So you have an access to billing and plans, some moderation, code planning and automation, security, any third-party access, and also archive kind of logs and maybe a deleted repositories and so on and so forth. So also from experience, many users or many customers that I worked with before, has been using Azure, and sometimes they would like to have a consolidated billing. So what does it mean to have consolidated billing? So, there are two ways, ideally, how this can go through. So you can basically use GitHub to handle all your payments, through the GitHub, or if you have already an Azure subscription and you're consuming some resources there, you can also basically under your billing basically attach your Azure subscription. So basically all metered services will be charged through the Microsoft Azure and Azure subscription. So for example, we are the meter service, we are talking here about, for example, GitHub Copilot, which is basically a monthly base subscription, and also maybe GitHub Actions or GitHub Code Spaces. So yeah, let's do this step as well. Let's add our Azure subscription to have basically the consolidated billing over here. So let me log in real quick. So this will walk you through all the steps that are required to connect your Azure subscription. So I'll add my tenant. There's another step to verify the access here. And now you will be presented to choose from the specific subscription. So sometimes you might have a multiple subscriptions, which is completely fine. And now you're able to select which specific subscriptions you would like to have the GitHub billing go to, or be consolidated under this specific subscription. Okay. So as you can see, we've been prompted with a successful kind of a message that it has been added. So as you scroll down to the very bottom, you're able to see that here's our Azure subscription and specific subscription ID. And also now we can see that no services are being built through Azure, which is completely fine at the moment because we don't even have any services. And also you can always delete it, and you can also modify it whenever you will kind of change your mind with regards to subscription. So this is all enabled now. So basically, as you see in this step, I click on the enable. Now basically all meter services are being built through Azure. So as you can see, there are specific billings here, and yeah. So let's go to Copilot, and we can enable GitHub Copilot. So, as you see in the step before, I went basically from the settings page to Copilot through the access, and here are no seats over here. So here are the policies, so I can configure the policies. So the policies are important with regards, because Copilot can match a public code. So basically you can either allow or block suggestions matching public code. So for these moments we can allow it. And also GitHub Copilot chat for IDEs. Only members will have this, and also the CLI. So now if you go to access, we can enable it for specific members, or we can enable it for specific or through the all members for the organization. So this is really giving you ability to roll out strategically GitHub Copilot to specific members. So I can also add seed over here, and maybe you have you can do a bulk upload, or basically when you did the step before of inviting the users into your organization, you will be able to see them over here. So you'll be able to select the members, or either do a bulk upload with you know, with members, with collection of the members that you would like to upload, have access to GitHub Copilot. So at the moment in my organization, it's just only me. So I can go and continue to purchase seats. So over here, it is basically my first seat. Good. And then you can go through, you know, specific other options over here. So first of all, you have estimated monthly cost. As you probably know, the GitHub for organization is $19 per user. And also Copilot seats. So at the moment, or ideally once I will refresh, basically now the Copilot is enabled into my account. You can also cancel seat. So basically this will cancel the seat for selected member over here. Yeah, so that should be done at the moment. So you can always come back over here and maybe, you know, remove the billing through the Azure. Maybe you want to be billed through the for example, through GitHub directly. Okay. So there are multiple ways how to ideally do it. So let's begin directly in Visual Studio Code. And over here, you can see that basically the message that has just disappeared, we can bring it back from here. So once you're logged into your Visual Studio Code, you will be able to see the notifications specifically to the extensions that you have installed. In this case, this is a GitHub Copilot extension. And you can see that organization that we just created, GitHub Copilot Demo 123, has granted an access to GitHub Copilot. So basically now we are able to use the Copilot over here, but there's few more steps before you have to do that to have the Copilot or GitHub Copilot in your Visual Studio Code ID installed. So you have to navigate through the left toolbar over here and go through the subscription, or Control-Shift-X on the keyboard, or Command-Shift-X on the Mac OS. So we go to the extensions, we search for GitHub Copilot, and over here, basically, as you can see, I already installed my GitHub Copilot from this page or from the extension page itself. You can disable it, uninstall it, or there's some extension settings over here. And later on, once you install the GitHub Copilot, you will be able to see it down there in the bottom toolbar. And there is also GitHub Copilot Chat, which we can actually install now. It's probably don't have to alt. Now you can see that there is basically a deactivation. You can deactivate, disable it globally, or disable it for specific language that we are using. So let's have a look how it works in action. So there is a possibility that you already tried GitHub Copilot, or you've seen how GitHub Copilot works. So this is basically just another kind of introduction how it can be accommodated into your workflows. So let's start. As you probably know, GitHub Copilot is pretty much context aware. So he basically scans through your files and can kind of give you suggestions based when you code. I explained that part specifically in the blog post that you might have read before. So let's go and create a small web page that will gather an information from the API, and will present us with some random kind of images or posts that appear on internet, like a news. Okay, so let's create a div with ID of articles. Also, so what else we need? So we will also need to add our JavaScript file to be available for our index web page. So let's add the script. And sometimes, you know, you might kind of not remember all of the, you know, tags or some specific code. So you can use Copilot to write, or you can explain this in your natural language in the code inside the IDE. So add the script tag for app.js. So now you're able to see that here is our first suggestions from GitHub Copilot. So once you hover over that, you will be able to kind of accept with a tab, or you can also open the completion panel, and there might be times where you will be presented with multiple kind of options and you can go through them. So, and then you can accept whatever fits you the best. So if I'm happy for that, I can accept that. And let's go to our JavaScript file to basically generate the rest of the code. So what I can do over here, I can write basically everything in my natural language to describe what I want that this code should do. So let's go through that. And first of all, we need to grab this identifier over here. So we can do this by ourselves. So const articles, and what we need actually, we need to get it by function of document dot get element by ID, and you can see that it's not only giving me suggestions, or when I'm describing what my code should do in the comments, but also whenever you code, right? So I can grab this. So this will get an identifier or grab this DOM element from here. And what we can do next. So as you can see, GitHub Copilot will start to present us like multiple options or what might continue in your code. And so what we want to do now. So we would like to generate a function to grab some random posts from some API. So let's do that. Create a function to get the data from the API. To get the, let's say, posts from API. Okay. So now we are able to see that we are presented with another suggestion here. So let's press tab and let's, cool. So basically, you can see now that this is the part that has been generated for us. So we're getting some posts from the API. And what do we like to do next? So the next part will be to basically use this data that we've just fetched and add them to our website. So let's create another function to have this workflow be achieved. So yeah. So as you can see, as this is context aware, you're able to be, contained with basically another progression. So how the code should progress, or GitHub Copilot kind of knows what should be a next step in terms when it comes to the code. So we can accept that, to be honest. And let's just accept the function that rendered the posts. So as you can see, basically here is our function to render the post to the DOM, and we setting the basically the HTML that has been created to our variable articles. But setting in the HTML, it's not really good practice nowadays, as it kind of possess of a security risk. What we can do, we can kind of rewrite the whole thing, I would say. So let's leave it for the next part, which I will show you how the GitHub Copilot chat works, and it will help us to rewrite a specific type of the code. So the last part will be to call the render post function and display it actually to our web page. So let's accept that and let's call this function. Have something displayed in our web page. So as you can see, this is basically what has been created by GitHub Copilot. As you can see, there are some random posts or like placeholder posts that you can use to mock some visualities or when you're creating a new web page. One great thing is like sometimes I'm struggling with cascading style sheets. So let's do some nice style sheets as well. You can either do it in some external file, which will be basically an external CSS file, or you can do it inline in JavaScript itself. And this functionality I will leave for GitHub Copilot chat to handle actually this. Okay, so for some reason I wasn't able to run the GitHub Copilot chat on my Windows machine. So now I will just clone it, the repo that I uploaded to my GitHub on my Mac machine, where actually the GitHub Copilot chat works. As you can see, I'm just cloning the repo here. I will open in my Visual Studio Code. So we'll go through the steps that I mentioned in the previous section on the video. Oh yeah, just trust her. Outers here, and yeah, let's have a look on how we can add the extension to Visual Studio Code. So from the Labs toolbar, extensions, search for a GitHub Copilot chat. I just add a bit of brightness to my display. So the same idea as with GitHub Copilot. You install it, as long as you're logged in, should be configured. Now, so this is the interface of GitHub Copilot chat. You also have slash commands like explain, fix, refactor, so on and so forth. So let's open the file on the second tab here. Let's use the slash command of explain to explain this highlighted part of the code. So we're using the slash command explain and a prompt message that will prompt to GitHub Copilot chat. Now you can see the result of prompting in the GitHub Copilot chat with some specific ideas and interpretation to specific function render posts. So you can see this function is defined using the async keyword, which means that it's return a promise. And then inside the function it calls another function called getPosts using the await keyword, and this specifically means that getPosts returns a promise that resolves to the value of posts. So later on we are also using this result and injecting it to our HTML basically. We are another slash commands, as you can see, and let's add the refactoring options that we have been talking in the previous section of the video. As inner HTML, the usage is more or less a bad practice nowadays, and now we've been presented with some refactoring options and how to make it more secure with escaping HTML functionality. So now we can paste it and replace it in our previous function. So this is how the final code looks like. We will also use the live server to preview the changes, and exactly we can see basically the same thing that we've seen before in the previous section. So let's now also add some inline styles to make it look bigger. As I mentioned, you can also use the external CSS file, but you can also make use of Copilot chat to change the code for you. So let's add the prompt message to make the post green, border around them, and also the title should be blue. There are multiple ways how you can copy and paste, or you can put the cursor somewhere in the IDE and click the icon basically. So this will put your code to where the cursor is. Let's replace the whole function. And let's save it and let's test it out. So here's the final version, what GitHub Copilot Chat and GitHub Copilot achieved. And let's have a look how to integrate GitHub Copilot Chat into IntelliJ products. Now I am at the Intel Engine IDE for Java development. Let's navigate to settings. From the left toolbar, let's search plugins and search for GitHub Copilot. Let's install it. Let's fast forward through the installation. So now we are fully installed and ready to use GitHub Copilot in IntelliJ IDEA products. So we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for your presence here. If you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, or any comment. I'm happy for any feedback. Thank you and see you soon.